Have you ever felt like someone in your life is slipping away, or maybe they've already distanced themselves completely? Whether it's a friend, a partner, or someone you care about, the pain of being ignored or pulled away from can be overwhelming. But here's the thing, the way you handle this distance can completely change the dynamic. In today's video, we're going to talk about powerful steps you can take when someone pulls away, steps that will not only help you reclaim your power but also teach you how to focus on your own growth, set healthy boundaries, and let go of the need for validation. So, if you're ready to take control of your emotional well-being, keep watching. 1. Stop chasing. Have you ever found yourself desperately trying to get someone's attention, only to have them pull away more? Maybe it's a friend, a partner, or even someone you're trying to connect with, but no matter how much you reach out, they seem to distance themselves. It's frustrating, right? The more you chase, the further they seem to slip away. But here's the truth, when someone pulls back, that's your cue to stop chasing. I know it's hard, especially when you really care about the person, but chasing them only makes you feel more powerless. Think about it this way, have you ever been in a situation where you just needed a little space, but someone kept pushing, calling, or texting constantly? It starts to feel suffocating, doesn't it? The more they push, the more you want to pull away. Now, reverse that situation. If you stop chasing someone who's pulling away, you give them space to miss you. You give them the opportunity to feel your absence, and trust me, that's when things start to shift. When you're always available, when you're always there chasing after their attention, it stops feeling valuable. People don't miss what's constantly in front of them. Think about the last time you had something you could always count on. Was it the same as something you had to work hard to get? The thing you worked for is the one you truly appreciate. The same goes for relationships. If you're always present, always chasing, they start to take your presence for granted. But when you pull back, when you stop being so readily available, they start to wonder, where did they go? Why aren't they reaching out anymore? I've seen it happen so many times. Whether it's someone you're trying to date or a friend who's started to drift, the more you try to hold on, the more they seem to slip through your fingers. But when you stop chasing, you create space for them to notice what they're missing. You start to focus on yourself, your own growth, and your own life. That's the moment when they'll start asking themselves, what happened to that person who was always there? And when that moment comes, they'll begin to realize your worth, without you ever having to say a word. So, take a step back. Pull away from the chase. Trust that when you stop chasing, you're not losing them, you're reclaiming your power. You're letting them feel your absence, and that's when they'll realize just how much they truly value you. Stop running after someone who doesn't run after you. Let them chase what they can't have, and focus on becoming the best version of yourself. The right people will come into your life when you stop forcing it. 2. Value yourself. Have you ever found yourself constantly trying to prove your worth to others? Whether it's through your actions, your words, or even your achievements, it can feel like you're always seeking validation from those around you. It's exhausting, isn't it? You want others to see your value, but in doing so, you're putting your self-worth in their hands. Here's the thing, you don't need anyone else to validate your worth. You are enough, just as you are. The moment you stop trying to prove yourself and start acting like you already know your value, that's when the magic happens. Imagine this, when you stop chasing approval, you free up all that energy to focus on yourself. You begin to truly embrace who you are, with all your strengths, flaws, and unique qualities. You no longer feel the need to constantly seek out validation because you've already given it to yourself. And here's the most powerful part, when you do this, others notice. They sense your confidence, your self-assurance, and they're drawn to it. Confidence is magnetic. People are naturally attracted to those who know their worth, and it's not something that can be faked, it's felt. Think about a time when you were around someone who carried themselves with genuine confidence. They didn't need to prove anything to anyone. Their presence alone was enough. They didn't speak louder or try harder to get noticed, they simply stood tall in who they were. How did that make you feel? Inspired? Respectful? That's the power of knowing your value. It doesn't require validation from others because you've already done the internal work. And when you own that, you radiate an energy that attracts the right people and the right opportunities. I've seen it time and time again. People who stop seeking validation and start valuing themselves start to find that life just flows more effortlessly. They stop bending over backward for approval, and suddenly, people are seeking them out. Why? Because confidence is contagious. When you believe in yourself, others can't help but believe in you too. It's like you're telling the universe, I know my worth, and I don't need to prove it to anyone. So, here's your reminder, stop seeking validation from others. Value yourself first. When you do, you'll start attracting people who appreciate you for exactly who you are, and your life will become a reflection of the confidence you already have within. Trust that when you act like you already know your worth, the world will start treating you accordingly. 3. Bury desperation. Have you ever found yourself on edge, waiting for a text, an email, or a call from someone who's been ignoring you? The more you wait, the more desperate it feels. It's easy to get caught up in that spiral, checking your phone every few minutes, wondering what went wrong, or why they haven't responded. But here's the truth, reacting out of desperation only gives away your power. When you're desperate for someone's attention, you're putting them in control of your emotions, and that's a dangerous place to be. Imagine this, you're in a situation where someone pulls away. The instinct might be to chase them, to send that one last text, or to try and fix things. But that's exactly what you shouldn't do. Instead of reacting in panic, practice emotional control. Take a step back. Breathe. Remind yourself of your worth. You are not defined by their response or by their silence. You are whole and complete on your own, and the moment you stop chasing after someone, that's when you take back your power. Think about it, desperation is a signal that you've lost touch with your own value. When you're desperate for someone to respond, you're essentially telling them that you need them to feel good about yourself. But here's the kicker, when you focus on your own worth, that desperation fades. It's not about ignoring your feelings, it's about recognizing them without letting them control you. You deserve someone who sees your value without you having to beg for it. I know it's hard, especially when you care about someone and they're pulling away. But think about it this way, every time you give in to desperation, you're giving away a little piece of yourself. You're letting someone else dictate your emotional state. But when you stop reacting, when you sit with your feelings and don't rush to make them go away, you regain control. It's like holding a powerful secret that only you know. The key to your own peace and happiness lies in your ability to remain calm and centered, no matter what's going on outside of you. So, here's the challenge, the next time you're tempted to react out of desperation, don't. Take a moment to pause, breathe, and remind yourself of your worth. Remember, when you stop chasing, you stop giving away your power. You become magnetic. You start attracting what truly deserves your time and energy. 4. Disappear into silence. Have you ever found yourself over-explaining or chasing after someone who's pulling away? Maybe you've tried to clarify things, offer an explanation, or even apologize for something that wasn't your fault, just to get them to engage with you. But here's the truth, the more you chase, the more they pull away. The answer isn't more words, it's silence. Silence is powerful. When you stop over-explaining, stop chasing, and simply disappear into silence, you create space for them to wonder, what happened? Why aren't you reaching out anymore? Imagine this, someone's been distant, not responding, maybe even ignoring you. The old instinct might be to keep reaching out, sending more texts, or trying to fix things. But what if you did the opposite? What if you simply pulled back and let them feel your absence? That's where the real power lies. When you stop engaging, they'll begin to feel the void you left behind. Your silence speaks volumes. It makes them wonder why you're no longer chasing, why you're not trying to fix things. That uncertainty is powerful. It shifts the dynamic completely. Silence is not about being passive or weak, it's about taking control. It's about letting them feel the weight of your absence, making them realize they took your presence for granted. Think about it, when you're always there, when you're constantly explaining yourself, people start to expect it. But when you stop, that's when they start questioning. They'll wonder, where did they go? Why aren't they reaching out? Suddenly, you're no longer the one chasing after their attention, they're the ones left wondering. I've seen it happen in relationships, whether romantic or with friends. The more you chase, the less they seem to care. But when you pull back and let silence fill the space, something shifts. People are drawn to what they can't have. Your silence isn't just a void, it's a message. It shows them that you are not desperate for their attention, that you're not willing to settle for their indifference. You have better things to do than to chase after someone who doesn't appreciate you. So, the next time someone distances themselves, stop chasing. Stop over-explaining. Let them feel your absence. Disappear into silence, and watch how it shifts the power dynamic. You don't need words to make an impact, your silence will do all the talking. 5. Forge the inner weapon. Have you ever felt crushed by someone's rejection or when they started to distance themselves? It's easy to let their actions affect how you feel about yourself, right? But here's the truth, your worth should never depend on someone else's behavior. Instead of focusing on the person who's pulling away, it's time to turn inward. It's time to forge your inner weapon. This isn't about fighting them, it's about building the strength within yourself to stand tall, regardless of how others treat you. Imagine this, every time someone rejects you or pulls away, instead of letting it shake you, you use that moment to fuel your personal growth. You invest in yourself, your body, your mind, and your soul. Start focusing on what makes you stronger, what builds your confidence. Whether it's hitting the gym, reading more, learning new skills, or just spending time reflecting on what makes you feel good about yourself, all of these actions make you stronger, more resilient. When you build yourself up from the inside, nothing can make you feel less than amazing. Think of a time when you faced rejection or distance from someone. How did it make you feel? Maybe you doubted your worth, felt unwanted, or questioned what went wrong. But what if, instead of letting their absence define you, you saw it as an opportunity to become the best version of yourself? When you focus on your growth, their absence doesn't hurt you as much. Instead, you realize you are enough, with or without them. You start to understand that your value comes from within, not from someone else's approval. Building your inner strength doesn't happen overnight, but every small step you take to improve yourself strengthens your foundation. Whether it's taking care of your mental health, pushing yourself to be physically stronger, or setting new goals, you're creating a powerful force within yourself. When you make yourself a priority, when you start loving and valuing yourself first, you don't need someone else to make you feel worthy. Your confidence will radiate, and it'll be felt by everyone around you, including the ones who once pulled away. So, take a moment to think about what you need to work on to make yourself stronger. Don't wait for someone else to validate you. Forge that inner weapon of resilience. When you build yourself up, their rejection becomes insignificant. You stand tall in your own worth, and that's the kind of power no one can take from you. 6. Summon the power of mystery. Have you ever noticed how some people just seem to have an air of mystery about them? It's like you can't quite figure them out, and the more you try, the more intriguing they become. There's a magnetic pull to them, right? That's the power of mystery. When you withhold just a little bit about yourself, when you don't reveal everything all at once, people can't help but want to know more. And here's the catch, the less you give, the more they want. This is where you can turn the tables and shift the dynamic in your favor. Think about it, when you share every little detail about your life, your thoughts, and your feelings, there's nothing left for the other person to discover. But when you start holding back, even just a little, you create curiosity. Suddenly, they're wondering, what's going on in their life? What's really behind that smile? The mystery isn't about being secretive or playing games, it's about creating space for them to wonder, to fill in the gaps. It's about showing them there's more to you than meets the eye. I've seen it happen time and time again. When you stop being so available, when you stop giving away all your attention, people begin to take notice. They start asking questions. They start wondering what you're up to when you're not around. It's like when you see someone with a book, but you can't read the cover. You want to know what it's about. You can't help but be drawn in, and that's the power of keeping some things to yourself. You don't need to over-explain your every move or share every detail of your life. Instead, let them feel the intrigue. Let them wonder why you're not as available as you used to be, or why you're not chasing after them anymore. When you create that space, you become more intriguing. The best part? This isn't about playing hard to get, it's about respecting yourself and valuing your time and energy. When you stop revealing everything, you show people that you are a person of depth, someone worth discovering. So, next time someone pulls away or starts treating you with indifference, don't rush to explain yourself. Let them feel the mystery of who you are. Hold back just enough to make them want to know more. When you do this, you'll create a magnetic energy that pulls them in without you having to chase them. The less you give, the more they'll want. And in the end, that's what makes you irresistible. 7. Let them chase shadows. Have you ever found yourself always available for someone, constantly adjusting your plans and priorities just to be there for them? It's exhausting, isn't it? You're always giving, always chasing after their attention, but the more you do it, the more it feels like they take you for granted. The truth is, when you stop making yourself emotionally available on their terms, that's when things begin to change. The moment you stop chasing them, they'll begin chasing after what they think they've lost, and by then, it will be too late. Imagine this: you're always the one reaching out, the one making the effort to connect, but they never seem to meet you halfway. It's easy to get caught in the trap of thinking that if you just try a little harder, if you make one more call, they'll finally realize how much you care. But here's the reality: people rarely appreciate what's always in front of them. When you stop chasing, when you focus on your own life, your own growth, and your own happiness, that's when they start to feel the void. They'll begin to wonder, where did they go? Why aren't they trying to reach out anymore? I've seen it happen. When you stop adjusting your world for someone else, they start to feel the absence. They start to wonder why you're no longer at their beck and call. And the more they feel like they've lost you, the more they'll begin to chase you, to seek your attention, even if they didn't value it before. But by then, you'll be too focused on your own growth and achievements to even notice. Your life will be moving forward, and they'll be left chasing after what they can't have. It's powerful, isn't it? To shift the focus from trying to win someone over to focusing on yourself, your passions, your goals, and your personal growth. When you do this, you stop being emotionally available on their terms, and that's when the dynamic shifts. They'll start to realize that you are no longer waiting around for them. They'll chase after you, but by then, your life will have moved on to something better. So, stop chasing someone who isn't giving you the attention you deserve. Let them chase after the version of you they took for granted. Focus on your growth, on building the life you want, and let them see what they've lost. But by the time they realize it, you'll be so busy living your best life that their chase won't even matter. Let them chase shadows, because you've already found your light. 8. Focus on your own growth. Have you ever felt the sting of someone pulling away, whether it's a friend, a partner, or someone you care about? It's easy to feel rejected, to start questioning your worth, or to think that if only you tried harder, things would be different. But here's the truth: the best thing you can do when someone distances themselves is not chase after them, but turn that energy inward. Focus on your own growth. Use that time to invest in yourself, whether it's by diving into a hobby, working on your career, or learning something new. The more you grow as a person, the more you'll start to realize your own value, and you'll naturally attract the right people into your life. Imagine this: instead of sitting around waiting for someone's attention or approval, you redirect that energy into something that excites you. Maybe it's picking up a new skill, taking on a challenging project at work, or even traveling to a place you've always wanted to visit. The more you pour into your own growth, the less you'll feel the need to chase after someone else's attention. You'll start to realize that your worth doesn't depend on anyone else recognizing it, it comes from within. When you focus on your personal development, something powerful happens: you begin to build confidence. You start to see yourself as someone who has value, who is worthy of respect and love, regardless of external validation. The more you grow, the more you'll notice that you naturally attract people who are drawn to your energy, your passion, and your authenticity. You stop seeking validation because you already know your worth, and that confidence is magnetic. Think about people you admire, those who seem to have it all together, who are confident, self-assured, and never seem to be chasing after anyone's approval. Chances are, they've focused on their own growth, and that's what has made them so attractive, not just to others, but to themselves. They've learned that the key to building meaningful relationships lies not in seeking others' attention, but in being fully comfortable in who they are. So, if someone pulls away, don't see it as a setback. See it as an opportunity to grow. Invest in yourself, become the best version of you, and watch how your life changes. The right people will be drawn to you, not because you're chasing them, but because you've become someone who naturally commands attention through your growth and self-assurance. Focus on your own journey, and everything else will fall into place. 9. Strengthen your support system. Have you ever felt the weight of someone pulling away from you, leaving you feeling alone or unappreciated? It can be tough, right? But in moments like these, it's crucial to remember that you're not defined by one person's actions. Instead of focusing on the distance someone creates, turn to the people who truly value and care for you, your friends, your family, or your community. A strong support system is a powerful tool that can help you remember your worth and remind you that you are loved, no matter what. Imagine this: when someone pulls away, instead of feeling rejected, you lean into the people who have always had your back. You call a close friend, spend time with family, or even reach out to a community group that shares your interests. Surrounding yourself with people who appreciate you for who you are helps reinforce the truth that your value isn't tied to one person or their behavior. It's a reminder that you are worthy of love, respect, and connection, and there are people out there who see that. I've seen it happen in my own life. When one person has distanced themselves, I've found comfort in reaching out to others who truly care. It's not about replacing the person who pulled away, but about reconnecting with the ones who remind you of your worth. These are the people who help you see yourself through a lens of love and support, not through the lens of someone else's actions. They provide the balance and perspective you need to not internalize someone else's behavior. A strong support system also plays a vital role in boosting your confidence. When you feel like you're not getting the support you need from someone, leaning on others who truly care for you helps you see that you don't need to prove your worth to anyone. It's already there. Whether it's through kind words, shared experiences, or simply spending time together, those who care about you lift you up and remind you that you're important, no matter what. So, when someone distances themselves or makes you feel less than you are, don't be afraid to lean on your support system. Reach out to the people who truly value you. Strengthen those relationships and allow them to remind you of your worth. You are loved, appreciated, and valuable, and the right people will always see that. Surrounding yourself with a strong support system will help you move forward with confidence, knowing that you don't need to chase after anyone who doesn't recognize your value. 10. Set healthy boundaries. Have you ever been in a relationship, whether with a friend, a partner, or even a colleague, where someone continually pulls away or treats you poorly? It's draining, isn't it? You try to make it work, but the more you give, the less you seem to receive in return. Here's the truth: in situations like these, it's crucial to set healthy boundaries. Protect your time, your energy, and your emotional well-being by clearly defining what you will and won't tolerate. This isn't about shutting the person out, but about showing them that you respect yourself enough to walk away from behavior that makes you feel unimportant or undervalued. Imagine this: you've been giving your all to someone, always there when they need you, but when you need support, they're nowhere to be found. It's hurtful, right? Instead of continuing to tolerate that behavior, it's time to set a boundary. Maybe it's taking a step back from the relationship, limiting your availability, or clearly communicating what you expect in terms of respect and consideration. When you set boundaries, you're not punishing anyone, you're simply protecting your own peace. By doing this, you show them that you value yourself and your time. I've seen it happen, not just in my own life but in the lives of others too. When you allow people to treat you poorly without speaking up or setting boundaries, it sends the message that their behavior is acceptable. But when you set clear limits and enforce them, you demonstrate self-respect and teach others how to treat you. It's not about being harsh or unkind, it's about asserting your needs in a healthy, constructive way. People will only treat you as well as you allow them to, so it's up to you to establish those boundaries. Think about the people you admire, the ones who carry themselves with confidence and self-respect. Chances are, they have clear boundaries. They know what they will and won't tolerate, and they have the strength to walk away from anything that doesn't serve their happiness or well-being. Setting boundaries is a sign of emotional maturity, not weakness. It shows that you're in charge of your own happiness, and that you won't settle for less than you deserve. So, the next time someone pulls away or treats you poorly, don't be afraid to set a boundary. Protect your time and energy by limiting your interactions and making it clear what behaviors you won't accept. By doing this, you're not only standing up for yourself, but you're also showing them that your self-worth is non-negotiable. And in the end, this will create space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships that truly value and respect you. 11. Let go of expectations. Have you ever found yourself clinging to the hope that someone will come back or change their behavior, especially when they start distancing themselves? It's natural to want things to work out, to expect them to return or suddenly realize what they're missing. But here's the hard truth: holding on to these expectations only keeps you stuck. When you release the need for a specific outcome in the relationship, you free yourself to move forward. You stop waiting for someone else to define your happiness and your worth. Imagine this: you're waiting for someone to reach out, to make things right, or to come back into your life. Every day, you hold on to that hope, checking your phone, thinking maybe today will be the day. But all this waiting doesn't move you forward, it keeps you trapped in a cycle of longing, while life continues to pass you by. Instead of waiting for them to decide your worth, focus on your own growth and happiness. When you let go of the expectation that someone will come back or act a certain way, you make space for new opportunities and connections that are aligned with your true self. It's tough to let go of expectations, especially when you deeply care about someone. But think about it this way: when you hold on to expectations, you're not allowing the relationship to evolve naturally. You're holding on to a version of the relationship that may no longer exist. When you release that attachment, you allow room for new experiences and for the right people to enter your life, people who truly appreciate and value you. And when you do this, you stop depending on others to make you feel complete. You realize that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's actions, it's something you create within yourself. I've been there before, where I expected someone to come around or change their mind. I waited, I hoped, and I found myself stuck in the past, unable to move forward. But the moment I let go of that expectation, something powerful happened. I stopped waiting for them to define my happiness, and instead, I took control of my own life. I started investing in my own happiness and pursuing my passions. And in doing so, I discovered that my worth had always been in my own hands. The moment I released the expectation of what I thought should happen, I found peace. So, the next time you find yourself holding on to the hope that someone will come back or things will turn out the way you expect, remember this: let go. Release the need for a specific outcome. Focus on your own happiness and growth. Your worth isn't defined by anyone else, and when you stop waiting for them to validate you, you open yourself up to a life that's truly yours, one where you get to decide your own happiness, independent of others' actions. It's not easy when someone you care about starts to distance themselves, but remember, you have the power to turn the situation around. By focusing on your own growth, setting boundaries, and letting go of the need for validation, you will not only regain control over your life but also become the best version of yourself. If you found value in these steps, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content that will help you strengthen your relationships and focus on your personal growth. And don't forget to comment below and share your thoughts or experiences. Let's continue the conversation. Remember, you are enough, and you deserve to be surrounded by people who appreciate and respect you. Stay strong, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next video.